Hello everyone, my name is Alan Voss and this is my article critique. So the article that I chose is called Digital Technology and Institutional Change from the Gilded Age to Modern Times, The Impact of the Telegraph and the Internet by Ronnie Phillips. A little bit of an overview of my article. This article really just describes the difficulties that exist when trying to create an accurate economic model that shows the responses to the new economy changing technologies. I really think that the author really focuses on the institutional economics and by showing mostly the history of all the other technological advances and the need for institutional analysis. He really goes into detail on how the challenge is to explain societal change and recognize what and how is it that it happens, and then create policies that will foster increased living standards throughout the world. The way that the author forms his article is really by first giving a rather extensive history of the telegraph and then reviews the impact that it had when it became a major form of fast communication. He then goes over some factors that are essential to understand the evolution of society, one being that technology is of the nature of a joint stock of knowledge for humankind, as he says, and then another one being the role of institutions and organizations like the government, and what their role is in the development of the technology. Three is a so-called like ceremonial encapsulation and path dependency, and for the unpredictability of technology change and what its impact in technology is, impact on society is. Sorry. Then he goes on and talks about the institutional changes that the internet has had on the economy, and also gives a little bit more of a history of the growth of the internet. Now, although the author really, he does raise some very interesting and very provoking questions in the beginning of the article, I really don't think they're easy to answer, and he knows that. And while the article doesn't really solve any problems, it does raise awareness and create some interesting connections with the present and the past. I think the information is explained mostly through a narrative history and a very short analysis of the growth of the telegraph and the internet. The numbers are good, but they don't really show how the economy has changed because of the growth of the internet. Also, I think an explanation of institutional economics is missed. Maybe it's assumed that the reader already knows what that means, right? And they have some prior knowledge of economics. I think the main problem and the weak part of the article, like I said, it is that he spends a lot of the time just explaining what the telegraph is and how it came about and how it grew and how it changed people's behavior. It's just very extensive history, and so it's missing a lot of very crucial quantitative analysis. I really think that this type of discussion is important because economics, of course, is a study of people's behavior, and if there's faster communication and new technology, it changes people's behavior and everyday lives, and of course, it changes the economy. And also, a more accurate economic model could be created and could be found if there's more research. While there may be a lot of economic models out there, the ones we've read about in the book, none of them really none of them are as accurate as they could be. And the author mentioned that throughout his article. And none of them can really explain or predict people's behavior when it comes to just new technology. So I think it was an overall really good article. I think it gave me a lot of background on the telegraph and the internet. I wish there was more information, more quantitative data that would make me understand more the impacts of the economy. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.